Hey everyone, welcome to Changing Our Ways. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. This week it is episode 4 and I'm here with Grant.
Oh, you are. I would hope you're here with me. It'd be a little bit weird if you were here with someone else, and I didn't know. How you going?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, yeah, I'm okay. I'm getting there. Bringing it, That's just the way it is.
How has your week been?
The week has been pretty slow. I've been really kind of looking forward to getting back to the podcast. Am I a little bit obsessed?
I think so, considering we spend most of our time in this room.
I can't help it, okay? The people are demanding. The people are demanding more shows.
I demand fresh air.
Fresh air? No. What do you think you get paid? Come on. You're not allowed fresh air until you actually start producing.
So I'm going to tell you, because I like to tell non-podcasty related stuff before we start.
Right.
I downloaded this app yesterday called Daily Brain. And it
Daily Brain?
Yeah.
Because we use our brain on a daily basis?
Wow.
What?
It gives you facts and useless facts, and I wanted to share the one that I got today because I was thinking, holy crap, that's amazing. The weight of all the ants on Earth is equivalent to the weight of all humans on Earth.
That is actually terrifying to think about. Because think about how many ants there have to be on the whole entire planet to weigh as much as all the humans. Considering how many different sizes of humans.
I cannot stop thinking.
They would overrun us and invade us.
They will pick us up like that video and throw us off the edge.
Yeah, you're talking about the one.
That ant that
the
picks
one
up
at the train station where one ant throws another ant off the platform.
Yeah, that's really mean. But anyway, that's my fact of the day. What about you?
I can't get over this story that I read. It's really awesome, and it's something that I would do to my kids. It's about that guy who pranked his daughters. Just a guy in the US who is taking his kids to Disneyland, and they didn't actually know. I won't go through the whole story, but basically he had these shirts made up, and he has a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old, and they're both girls. And on the 7-year-old, on the shirt, it actually says, I'm going to Disney and I don't know. And on the 5-year-old shirt, on the back, it says, I wish I could read.
Aww.
How amazing is that? I mean, it would have ended, the day would have ended really well, but the fact that he went to the effort to get these shirts made up and to actually make this thing go viral is amazing. I think it's fantastic, and I cannot actually wait to do that to the kids of my own. I'd probably do something worse, though.
Yeah, you probably would, because you do worse things to me.
Like what?
Anyway, let's get back to it.
Oh, okay. I see how it is. Why don't I just skip over it?
This week's episode...
Yes?
...is a bit of a controversial one.
Well, it's one that's kind of, I suppose, made up the kind of the group discussion is kind of going in a 50-50 direction, which is really quite strange. As you would have seen, we posted out a little thing on Instagram saying, are you scale obsessed? Which is exactly what the topic and the title of this episode is. And when we talk about being scale obsessed, we're talking about weighing in and making sure, well, I suppose, seeing how your weight is going during a journey. You could be in pre-op stage. You could be like us 2 years down the road. And what we find is there are a lot of people out there that step on the scale almost every day, maybe even twice a day, maybe even as much as 5 times a day. And that's something you've got experience with, of course. Oh, you don't want to elaborate?
We will.
Yes, well, I suppose the part where we start is, what role do scales play in our lives?
The scales play a huge part in my life because for so long I avoided them. I avoided them like they were the plague.
Are you talking
Pre-surgery.
But pre-decision as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Because I was in denial. I didn't want to know what number I was on. I always thought I was around 120. You know, I'm always around 120.
Yeah.
I wasn't nowhere near that.
Yeah.
But that's what I wanted to believe. So I wouldn't really have any scales around me. I'd avoid them. And now I'm obsessed.
Well, it's good that you can actually admit it, because there's people out there that wouldn't admit it. And
I'm one of those people that's 3 times a day.
yeah.
And it's sad. And I'll be the first to admit, I punish myself according to those numbers.
Yeah. And there are people who do that as well. What would you say is the main purpose behind the main purpose for your scale during your weight loss journey? And this is maybe just, let's talk from immediate pre-op to 12 months post-op.
You're going down. Prices are down like Coles. Down. My scale is down.
My scale is down. Weight's going down.
It is. It's going down. And you become obsessed because that number just keeps reducing and reducing and reducing. And you're just like, wow, this is amazing.
Well, really, it becomes an addiction.
It does.
Because, and it's like any addiction out there, once you get a buzz from it, you just want more and more and more.
Do you know why? Because you're in a competition with yourself and you want to keep beating yourself.
But I mean, that immediate period, especially, you know, the immediate pre-op, or just like the short pre-op time before your surgery, you know, going next to your, 12 months afterwards, you're going to be losing weight. Yes, of course, you have your times where you plateau and you stall, but then it picks up again once your body gets used to things. And then 12 months is a good gauge of where you're really at once, you know, you've had your surgery. And it's a good kind of, for lack of a better term, scale of seeing where you're at, you know, compared to what you used to be. And yes, those scales will go down rapidly. You know, everyone's different. Of course, you're going to lose weight at different rates to other people. But the purpose of those scales are to just give you a clear indication of how fast you're losing weight, and you're actually supposed to balance out what you're doing during that first 12 months, because you're going to lose weight regardless.
Are you obsessed with weighing yourself? I have to ask, because I've already left to go to work for the day when you're up, so I don't know what your routine is in the morning.
No, I'm far from it, because I suppose for me, the way I feel about it is that I want to weigh in or less is more for me. So the way that I see it, the more I weigh in, the more it's just going to affect me. The more it's going to, I suppose, bring me down if I'm not reaching that number that I want to reach. And for myself, and for probably a lot of people out there, you've got your goal weight. Your goal weight is set by your doctor, or set by your surgeon, or your dietitian maybe. And that is a best guess for, you know, based on knowledge, based on experience, medical expertise. And it's usually a good way to go, but it's not necessarily the best thing, because people will, you know, might not reach it for whatever reason. They might not actually get there. And if that is the case, that you don't reach your goal weight by the time that you're predicted to reach it, then what are you going to do? You know, what are you going to do if you don't reach it? It's just, it's an unfortunate situation that just spirals out of control, really.
I mean, we put that post out on Instagram during the week to ask, you know, why do we worry so much about number on the scale? Why do we obsess with weighing ourselves? And we've had, like we said, it's like a 50-50 response. And it's really nice to see, and I know it sounds horrible, but it's satisfying for me to see people are in the same boat as me. Yeah,
well, I mean, I think a lot of people will feel the same. And a lot of the comments that we did get are, you know, both like that, where we're saying, you know, we should shy away from weighing in so much because it's not necessarily the best thing for us mentally. But there's also those other people who are like, you know what, I need to stay motivated, and this is what motivates me. And you know what? That is fine. I'm actually okay with that. But it can be a dangerous path to lead as well.
So I reckon this could be one of those episodes where I'm going to make something very private quite public today. And I think you know what it's about. There was a person called Catastrophe who wrote, I'm finding I'm more obsessive now. I'm in maintenance. And the fear of going back to my old life is huge. I personally cannot resonate with that enough. Like, that's me 100%. And I'm going to admit right now that I have an eating disorder that I'm not proud of. And I've been struggling with it and I've been hiding it because I'm so petrified that I'm going to wake up one morning and I'm going to be 170 kilos again. Now, it's all mental. It's stupid. But sometimes you have those days when you just can't deal with it. And I haven't been brave enough to talk about it because I don't want to scare people. But this is real life. And the scales have played a huge part in me developing this disorder.
Mm.
Grant's had to see me go through it. I've gone from one extreme to another now. I've gone to eating maybe... I barely eat.
Mm.
Because I'm so terrified of that number.
Yeah. And it is a concern, and it's something that people should be worried about because from my point of view, I worry about, what's going to happen when you don't get to where you want to be. What's going to happen when you need to, think about what's the next step for you, because the next step might not necessarily be in the right, frame of mind or in the right place for you mentally. And that goes for everyone. It's not necessarily just Shannon. Shan's said exactly how she's going along with the scales, and that's affected her mentally as well. So it's not the same for everyone. As we've seen on Instagram, people are saying exactly how they feel about it and how it motivates them, or how different things attribute to them wanting to step on the scale on a day-to-day basis or on a multiple time during the day basis. But the way that I feel about it is that it can be quite detrimental to your mental state, and that is what is the most important thing about it. Is if it's not affecting you negatively, then go for it. If that motivates you, if it gets you to be more accountable, then there's nothing wrong with it in my eyes. The only thing that I worry about, and what I've seen in the past, not just with Shan, but also with other people, is that you become so obsessed with that number, and that number dropping, and reaching this sometimes unrealistic target, that you're actually risking your health. And that's what you don't want to see. And I've seen people who are borderline, going into an eating disorder like what Shan's just talked about. And that's the dangerous part, that we've got to make sure that we're not,
What's it like for a partner to see?
It's frustrating. It's incredibly frustrating. And it's hard because you don't know what you can do. You don't know how you can change your partner. You don't know if it's you that's causing it, because you're not stepping on that scale. You're not, I suppose, doing it as much as what they would. You're not reacting to the surgery like what they would. And I'm in a unique situation because I've had the surgery within a month of you. So rather than a partner who hasn't gone through the surgery at all, even, it's a very different circumstance. But I will reiterate that those people out there who have commented as well, who said, no, this is something that I need to do to make sure that I am remaining, loyal to my path, or, finding what's best for me, then that's absolutely fine. And And I commend you for going down that path, but the main thing is your mental health, and you've got to make sure that you're doing the right thing. But there's many different ways to go about it.
I'm sorry for getting all emotional, but it kind of feels crazy that I've managed to open my mouth and say something now. It's not something I'm proud of, and it's something that I am getting help with, and I just need a bit of patience, and I need to remind myself that I'm not going to wake up tomorrow morning and I'm not going to be 170 kilos. I'm going to be me. I'm going to be maintaining. I'm going to be healthy, and I'm not going to have a fear of food anymore.
That's the best thing about it.
And those scales are just a number.
And that is the biggest part about it, isn't it? It is just a number. You know, you're going to fluctuate. You know better than anybody that your body fluctuates, you know, so many different times, and it's not just necessarily a particular time of the day. It's not necessarily you know, just after eating one particular type of food or anything like that. Your body reacts in its own time, and that's what everyone just has to realize, is that there are differences for everyone.
I guess that's why I said in the last episode that sometimes I don't like the fact that surgeons give you a goal weight.
No,
and that's my own personal opinion. It's, you know, everyone has their own opinions and decisions. I don't like the fact that my surgeon set a goal weight, because once I got to it, I was like,
yeah,
where do I go now? Okay, let's pick a number. Okay, I'm going to go for 76 next.
Yeah.
My frame may not be able to get to 76. I don't know. Once I get the skin chopped off, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't want to start setting unexpected, numbers for myself. There, I'm going to sit and I'm going to punish myself over and over again to get to that number.
One thing I just wanted to really point out from here is there's people who are out there doing whatever it takes to get the number that they want, and that really tacks on to what you're saying about goal weight. I personally believe that we need a goal weight. There's no problem with that. You certainly need a goal weight to get you started, but you don't want only your goal weight. You know what I mean? You know what I mean by that? It's how best to put it. You want to make sure. How am I best putting this? You want to make sure that you're doing the right things. You're not doing whatever it takes, you know, drastic methods to get that, just to get a number. I mean, at the end of the day, what does that number represent? What does it represent to you? Does it represent your life goal? Does it represent fitting into those size 10 jeans? Does it represent success overall? Does it represent, quite possibly, the drastic methods you've taken to get to a size you think is acceptable socially? And that's what I think a lot of it comes down to. It's social acceptance. I was the same. I wanted to be socially accepted out there. I wanted to feel like a girl could look at me the same way she looked at one of my friends. You know, I wanted to feel attractive, just like I'm sure quite a lot of women do it. They want to feel attractive. Apart from the fact that we have this surgery to change our lifestyle and to change ourselves to the better health-wise, you want to be accepted in society.
I was the girl that used to hold people's bags when we went shopping.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't fit. They used to go into Prey and, mate, I couldn't even get one of their jean legs over my toes. Like, I would feel like an outcast, and I get that. It's like the numbers always dictated my life.
Yeah.
I've either been afraid of it, and then I've become obsessed, and now I have a really bad relationship with food and the scales.
Yeah.
So I guess that where it comes into the next header that we've got, which is like the number versus your health.
Oh, which we've kind of already touched on, I suppose, but that is certainly, you know, always something to think about. It's the number that you go for and doing whatever it takes to get to that number that you want versus your health and what is most important for you. And some people will admit that the number is the most important thing for them. And to me, I mean, this is just my humble opinion. And to me, I don't think that is okay. I think we want to be in a society where we are actually thinking about our health first rather than that number. And I think that comes down to what has society taught us? What has the media put into our heads? You know, what are those stereotypes that we've always spoken about telling us?
It's like the whole body positive movement at the moment. Like, I'm a strong believer in that, but there's some stuff that's been taken out of context. And there was a discussion on it on Instagram not long ago, and a lot of us copped a lot of flack over it, but it was more on the hashtag FU beauty standards. Where does that line end?
Yeah.
You know, it's... You got to take care of you, boo. Like, you're number one.
Yeah. Your
health is so important. Like, I get the whole body positivity. I get it. And I get we embrace who we are as individuals, our personalities, our creativity, our development, our voices. I get that. But where do we draw the line?
Well, exactly. Where do we draw the line on these things? And, you know, to tack on to a little bit of what I was saying before is we've had this for decades where, and, you know, I would hope that nobody finds this offensive of me just talking about, you know, a female taking this on board, but females are so much more under pressure than what guys are in society in general. And the media and what they portray, and when, you know, we're certainly not doing a political show, but it does come into effect of what I'm talking about, is that it's so much harder to go into general society and fit in when you're at a bigger weight.
Oh, absolutely.
And when you start losing that weight, you start thinking about all the things that you could have done when you couldn't do them before. And that pressure actually comes from yourself. You actually put it on yourself. And the reason that it comes from that is because of the expectations in general society and in social media and in you know, media in general, and the stereotypes that are placed within our community. You're expected to look a certain way, and you're expected to dress a certain way and to be a certain way, and stepping on the scale and worrying about what weight you're at is part of that, because people think, oh, well, I need to be down to 65 kilos because that's how much that celebrity weighs.
Don't let a number define you.
No, absolutely not. And this is why, if anything of what we have learned in our community is that we need to be healthy. Health is number one. You know,
just you were overweight, and you got told, even though you were overweight, you were healthy.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've lost. Well, I know what you're referring to. When I was, I suppose, still at my highest weight, my doctor. Still, he would examine me and run me through tests, and he would say, well, you know, even though you actually are at a very high weight and a morbidly obese weight, you know, beyond morbidly obese on the BMI, don't get me started on that, but what he would say is that, well, all the tests are coming back really good, you know, your blood pressure's great, all that kind of stuff. There's no actual major issues that you've got, and so if you lose the weight, you're actually going to find that your health is going to get even better. So that was a motivating factor for me to lose the weight and to, you know, really think about going through this surgery, because I would actually be able to be at a very healthy state. And that's what I implore everyone to do, no matter what stage you're at. Even if you're 5 years down the track, if you're still worried about that scale number, you know, that's really concerning. You know, the only time I think that people should be worried about the scale number is when it starts going up significantly, because you are going to fluctuate. You are going to regain at some stage or another, because your body is going to get used to what you're doing. You know, I've regained. Chantal's regained. We've all done it, but you're not regaining in, 10, 20 kilos, you may be fluctuating at that 5 kilo mark, and that's going to happen. And I think your doctor will tell you that that's going to happen. Your nutritionist, they're all going to tell you that that is going to happen because it's just inevitable. You're never going to be able to prevent fluctuation because it's going to be, your body is just going to react that way.
You wake up in the morning, you're like, where's that 4 kilos come from? And then the next day you get on and you're like, oh,
it's gone again.
The 4 kilos is gone. Okay, I'm back to where I started. But once you step on that scale and you see, I mean, this is me and I don't know if anyone's the same. When I step on that scale and see I've jumped up 3 kilos overnight, I punish myself all day.
Yeah.
I won't eat properly. I'll drink water. I'll drink coffee, but I'll try not to eat.
Yeah.
And it's so stupid because I know what I'm doing, but I can't stop.
Yeah. And the funny thing about this is, and as we've learned, the more you eat, the more times that you eat actually is better for your body because your metabolism will increase. You're actually supposed to, there are obviously different diets out there, but the more you eat, the more your metabolism actually grows. So you ideally should be eating about 6 small meals a day, 6 small snacks really for us, in the weight loss surgery community and weight loss community in general.
See, like this week, I'm starting OptiSlim again tomorrow because I feel stalled at the moment and I need to kick up the butt.
Yeah.
And I really want to do the OptiSlim so I can make sure I'm getting enough nutrients in me during the day.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do it for about a week or 2 and just to restart me. And again, it's to get me away from that scale.
Yeah. But where do you feel that you're obviously doing that because you feel you've gone wrong somewhere. Where do you feel that you've gone wrong?
Because that scale keeps going up and down and it's annoying me.
So the fact that we're talking about this on this episode, I literally, you know how I feel about it and what I've just been saying, yet you can't tell yourself that that's not what I should be worried about. I should be worried about my health. Why don't you actually, and this is my point, I want you to tell people what you generally eat during the day.
I have a coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
I have baked beans at lunch.
Yeah.
With maybe a piece of toast.
Yeah.
And then we eat curry or whatever when I get home.
And tell them about your snacks.
I have cheese and pickles and I can't pronounce them properly. Soybeans.
Soybeans, right.
Yeah.
So in my mind, and I'm no nutritionist, I'm no dietitian.
Oh, and salads. I eat salads.
Right. And that's what I wanted to point out.
And boiled eggs.
Okay. All right. Now you're starting to remember. That's really good. I'm no dietitian. I'm no nutritionist. I'm no expert on food. If anything, I'm not the best eater in the world, but I'm certainly still changing my life and getting better. To me, that seems relatively healthy. And I know the amount you eat, you don't eat a lot. So you're already kind of restricting yourself anyway. In terms of calorie intake, it would be fairly low. And this is what I'm not going to talk. I'm not talking to Chantel anymore. I'm talking to everyone else out there, and everyone has to realize that right there is an example of someone who actually eats not ultra healthy. I'm not saying that she's, restricting herself beyond capacity or anything like that, but she's certainly not overdoing it or eating a whole bunch of fast food or anything like that. She's actually eating relatively healthy in my eyes. Now, somebody else could tell me different and say, oh yeah, no, I agree with her. She should go back on shakes. But that's an example for you guys as someone who actually, and Chantel's already admitted that she's obsessed with the scales, and that's what I worry about with everyone else, that you get obsessed with that number, and you get obsessed with the fact that you need to drop it rather than just worry about being healthy. And she's incredibly healthy right now. She's actually doing very well. I think she'd admit that just like me, we probably just need a bit more exercise. But in terms of her food, she's actually incredibly excellent. I didn't know what I really wanted to say there, but she's very, very good with her food.
I know my choices now. I make really good choices. Even when we're out, I always make really good choices.
And you can admit that you're making really good choices, but you can't admit that going on to shakes is just because you're motivated by the scale. So that's my point. That's my point
That's
to everyone
something
out
for
there.
me to think about. And
Yeah, and
like,
everyone's different. And as I say,
I
as
feel
we-
I need a kickstart, and that's how I want to do it. And if it
Sure.
doesn't work, it doesn't work.
like I said before, and like people commented, other people want to do it because they need to keep themselves accountable and they need to keep themselves motivated. That's fair enough. Everyone's different, and it's certainly just an opinion-based platform and opinion. This is very opinionated, this particular one, but I think that's something that everyone just has to keep their mind on, is making sure that they're healthy before worrying about their number. We're all different shapes and sizes. We're not all supposed to be 50 kilos or 60 kilos, and we're not supposed to necessarily be stick thin. You're supposed to be healthy, fit, extending our lives and just making good life choices. That's really all we wanted to say on the topic for today, guys, but we're actually introducing a new segment to the program. It's really all about giving notoriety to those people out in social media land, or people who are friends of the program, maybe just some good round superstars in the weight loss surgery community and the weight loss community. And it's all about involving them with Chantel, because Shan's the best at identifying those kind of superstars out there. But yeah, we're introducing a new segment called Shan's
Social Shout Out.
Okay, mate, we don't need any theme music.
Dun, dun, dun,
No.
dun.
No.
I'm trying to, recover from being sad.
If there's someone
before.
out there who wants to make a theme song for Chantel, please let us know, and we
Dun,
will
dun,
upload
dun.
it and give you credit. But yes, here is Shan's social shout out.
So, as you all know, I'm pretty much on Instagram all the time. You can ask Grant and the amount of data I use. We have a 20
Yes.
gig share plan, and I use 17 of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in the bad books until the 28th of this month, and then I'm safe for another maybe 10 days. My social shout out this week is Instagram, because that's my main platform. That's where I spend most of my time. And this particular person is absolutely incredible to me, especially because he came out of nowhere. He was like the Flash. And I was like, wow, who is this guy? Why don't I know about him? I'm going to go through and stalk all his photos. Oh my God. I thought he was on Super Troopers. It's not really him. And he's from...
Super Troopers. Father.
What's it? I want a little
A
cola.
leader of cola? I don't know what that is.
So my shout out goes to formerly chubby hubby, Nick. He's lost an amazing 73 kilos, and he's not such a secret sleever anymore, but he was sleeved on the 30th of May last year. So to lose, 73 kilos in that amount of time is amazing. So,
Awesome work, dude. Awesome work. You're looking good, buddy. Keep it up.
and I know that you've had some not so nice comments lately, but I'm really proud of how you dealt with them. And I love seeing your videos of you smashing it out at the gym, and you really motivate me. And I don't know you personally, and one day I hope that we do get to meet in person, but I find you incredibly inspiring, and just keep up the good work. Like, we need more people like you to show the success of what this procedure can do when people use it properly.
Absolutely. Keep up the good work, dude. Really well done. All right, guys, that is pretty much it for the show this week. Just really wanted to remind everyone to share the program as best as you possibly can. Help get it out there. We'd love to get more and more people attracted to the program and downloading the podcast so that we can get our message out there and really just, get more people to share more of their stories and become part of this community and just make it, ever growing as it is. Next episode will probably be a little bit delayed. Not too sure when we're going to put it up, but I can actually tell you it will be with an actual interviewee. We're going to have our very first interview of the podcast. I can't reveal who it is yet, but we will have our very first interview for the show. So certainly have a look out for that. Continue to give us your feedback. Go onto the Facebook page and give us a like. We are now uploaded on YouTube, just in preparation for when we are going to start uploading some more videos and start doing some special programs and things like that. We'll send out some more details about that. Plus, we are now on the Podcast Source, which is the home for our actual podcast. So it's an app that's available on both iTunes and Android. It's called the Podcast Source. We'll send out some links on that as well. But apart from that, anything else you got for today, Chantel?
No, I just want to thank everyone for the support, and I'm sure that I'm not the only one going through this stage, especially being 2 years post-op. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the encouragement. And most of all, thank you for the feedback, because this show isn't about us, even though we're the main speakers of it. It's about you guys.
Absolutely. And we want to hear more and more from you guys, so don't be afraid to give us some feedback and some more stories. But apart from that, thanks once again, and we'll see you next time. But this is Changing Our Ways, signing off.